I like to go in with a bang.
I like to go out with a bang.
That's more typical. Hey.
I like to go shake it all about with a bang.
Ooh.
Ian, that is disgusting. Jesus. I'm so sorry, chat.
Welcome to Jarviskjir Mother's Love. The show about love and D&D and compassion with all my friends, aside from most of my friends are somewhere else right now, probably asleep. So settle for these.
What, probably asleep?
Yeah.
7 o'clock, dude.
Yeah. I mean, my cat's definitely asleep.
Where are your friends from? Peru?
How's everyone doing?
I don't know the time difference between here and Peru.
No, I don't. I don't even think I could place
it would
Peru
be
on the
around
map.
-6,
On it!
I'd guess.
What time is it in Peru?
I guess it'd be -6 because America's.
It's 2:03 p.m.
Yeah. No, I was
No,
fine.
definitely not asleep in Peru. Well, I mean, someone's asleep in
Ladies,
Peru.
They might
They're on
be
their afternoon nap.
siesta, yeah, dude.
True.
Whatever that is in Portuguese. Portuguese is what they speak in Peru, right?
I don't know,
Okay.
actually.
Peru speaks
On
Spanish.
it!
Peru speaks Spanish. Every South American country except Brazil
Maybe they speak
speaks Spanish.
Peruvian.
It speaks Peru.
Whoa, there's some languages that I've never even heard of here. Quechua?
That's definitely. I don't know how it's spelt, but it's definitely not pronounced like that.
Yeah, it's Quechua. And then Aymara. Never heard of either of those.
Anyway, this is the show where we do D&D. No Peru in sight. Last session, Gilwyn recovered the treasure that his mother stored away on Beauty's Rest, a white loot named Soulmender that has magical healing properties. And you defeated the Stormcaller that damaged the island. So now you have the quest to repair the island, which involves finding the Wand of Borogon, a giant king that was said to be able to repair lands, right? So that is where we, more or less where we start off. You sailed from Beauty's Rest back to the island of Tran, where you spent a lot of time drinking, playing music. Actually, I don't even remember what you did most of the time. You were gathering information. That was it, which led to a whole Vale and Gilwyn extravaganza, as always. And found out that there is a merfolk grotto in the middle of Tran's merchant district, where the merfolk can swim up the rivers and the channels and come up and hang out with the Tranites and trade and do all the things. Because Tran has good relationship with the merfolk because it's a naval maritime community and also has a very relaxed atmosphere, especially towards other races. So, this episode begins as the party stands outside the mermaid grotto and prepares to step inside. The building is a beautiful. See, word salad already started. It's kind of like a dome, right? With water, you can see water trickling out because it kind of sits on a raised part near the river. You can see the water flowing back into the river. And the dome looks like it's made of some kind of magically altered coral. It's got sea glass windows that are haphazardly placed at all different angles. It looks very strange, especially as it's sort of in the middle of the very busy, very loud mercantile district where there are people yelling about their wares and the sounds of all kinds of animals being sold and being used for travel and powering machines and stuff like that. And that's where we begin. You just talked your way past the guard.
Well, some of us had. I'm in an alley somewhere nearby.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't let me in. That nat one.
Question, where am I?
You were on the ship, but you can rejoin the party now.
Okay.
Maybe night goes and gets you.
I feel as though I would have no problem getting past the guards because they probably know me.
Exactly, but you weren't there when they were trying to get past the guards. Let's say when Night tried to go up to the guards and the guards like, we know who you are. Don't go in here. You'll nick something. Let's say Night went and found Indira and is bringing her back.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So right now we have old Gildeen,
Gildeen.
and Neelavale at the door.
Kneel around. You should have got a Goldeen and called it Gildeen.
I haven't even found a Goldeen yet in Pokemon Let's Go. It can happen.
Your fishing rod level did.
Do I know whether these merfolk, they probably speak a different language, but do most of them speak English or in common? Rather?
You've never met a merfolk before. The guard who was a Triton spoke common. Triton are like merfolk with legs, essentially, who can walk more, where the merfolk have mermaid tails, as you would expect.
Okay.
You kind of would assume they would speak. You could assume most creatures speak some degree of common, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Might not be good.
All right, Vale. Guess we'll go in.
Well, I see no reason not to, Gil. We just talked our way in. It would be a little bit redundant if I have gone through all that effort to only stand out here. In fact, I might be a little bit peeved. That is what you humans say, no? Peeved?
Yeah, Pete.
It is not a very elvish expression.
The reason I ask is because half of our party isn't here.
Right, yes, the street cat who is now in an alleyway. Perhaps he should be an alley cat. No.
Tell those jokes to the Triton. Maybe they'll like that one.
And didn't Indira say something about being a pirate? Which really, is peculiar, considering. Well, she's a pirate on a ship, which is above water, and these are merfolk, which are below water. They won't recognize her.
Yeah, but it's not about recognition, is it? It's more so that you would identify familiar traits within each other.
Well,
Mutual respect of the water, maybe.
surely they would identify that in me. Vale crosses his arms. You remember I was also a pirate, no?
Yeah, but yeah, okay. Well, let's see how we get on. And I'll open the door.
When you step inside, this is a big open plan place. Similarly, outside there are almost furnishings and like half walls made out of coral, but often they have holes or windows inside. There are pools of crystal, sparkling clear water, which is not strange. Tron is like a tropical Caribbean island. The water here is so much cleaner than the Sea of Goldport. And in most of these pools are several merfolk playing, chatting. Merfolk are very colourful creatures. Literally, their skin is coated in very thin scales that are bright colours, and these being tropical merfolk, it's bright blues, bright reds, the colours of the tropical coral reefs that some of the coral is even growing in this place. There is a strange ethereal music that sort of floats through the room. Gilwood would immediately place it as one of these merfolk, kind of leaning above the water pool, as a lot of them are, to like talk to people. Is playing what looks like a sort of 3-segmented shell. When they move their hands over it, it's making this kind of noise that is kind of reminiscent of like a theremin. It's just a lot of chatter. There's a strong smell of fruit because there's fruit punches and things being served, because seemingly the merfolk are loving it. And they're just a lot of chatter. No one really pays you guys any mind. There are other humans around, but they're mostly Tranite. They're sitting very relaxed by the waters, like by the pools.
Are the humans similarly like elegant in their dress?
Mostly, they as you would assume, they're probably merchants or maybe even bards. The Tranite really like to dress up. Most of merfolk aren't wearing much clothing at all. Seemingly their culture just doesn't care for it. They don't need it as much as we do.
I'll lean to Vale and be like, yeah, we immediately do not fit in.
I get that most places I go.
And you can take the lead.
What are we here for again? Stringy boy? Because they loot?
Information on how to get to... What was it called?
The Wand of Borogon. I believe.
Oh, yes, that was something you found out last time. That there is a giant legend about this, a song. That was something you found out last week because we had a break between weeks. I'm giving you as much as I remember.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, maybe we should see if it's some sort of like folklore song that they have.
Both of you can give me insight checks.
Okay.
I nearly gave myself expertise in it this level.
Gilwyn, while looking around, obviously you could ask the musician. The musician, you can even see like tattoos that clearly show some sort of musical skill. They're linked to the music somehow. It's weird that you can see how the symbols visualize music, right? But also, looking through this place, you can see someone who is clearly in charge. They're the only person in a pool all to themselves. That pool is surrounded by like golden baubles and shiny things and pretty things. She herself is coated in jewelry, and she's kind of separate from everyone else, where they have these half walls and things. So you can clearly tell that she's, if not in charge, has some powerful clout here.
This fruit is really nice, Gilwyn. You should try some.
They would not have given you any fruit. You would like go up to someone, maybe like pull away into the water with their like basket of mangoes.
Wow.
Was it a woman?
Yes. I mean, as far as you can tell from here.
Woman.
Is she approachable, or is it like in a VIP area?
There's no guards. There are Triton inside with weapons, but they're not locking her off or anything. You could go up there.
Is there a seat nearby to her
Yeah.
that me and Vale could sit at? Vale, I'll gesture and like sit down
What?
and just like nod over to her.
Vale like sits down awkwardly, clearly not like, and he's like,
She looks important.
does she?
Well, yeah.
She's just a mad person.
I'll squint my eyes at. Don't say things like that in a place full of mad people.
Okay, yes, I understand.
It's at this time
he coughs
when
up.
you're having this awkward trying to just figure out what to do that Indira can march in, knowing exactly where this is. Would you have brought Knight along with you, or left him, or would
If
he
I
have
had
scurried
seen
away?
him, if I had seen him
He
for sure,
brought
I'd
you
been
this
like,
way.
Knight would have, as soon as he got back within view, Knight would have been like, I have other business, and
slink away. Okay, great.
into an alley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure,
When Indira steps in, you hear like gasps of adoration from the merfolk and splashing as they kind of lean on the edge of the pools, and they're calling out her name like Indira, Indira, and like reaching for her with a reaction that Gilwyn wishes he saw more often.
all right. So Indira would immediately finger guns at Gil and Vale, and then sit down at like the edge of a pool, dip her feet in, and just like kind of shoot the shit with merfolk for a couple minutes and be like, hey, how's it going? What's up? Those are my friends. Blah, blah, blah. Probably eat a fruit or whatever.
They'll
and
be
then
like,
get back
those
up.
are your friends?
Yeah. And then get up and walk over to him and be like, hangover just wore off. It makes sense. All right, we're here. I should have been with you from the beginning. My bad.
That's okay. Me and Vale have been handling this fine. We just got
Yeah, we're actually doing really well. We just thought that we'd take a moment to sit here so that the merfolk could get used to our presence.
Yeah.
It's an ancient elvish art.
What's the lady's name? Because I feel like I would.
You would know
that.
her name is Lady Belvere. You
Lady
would
Belvere?
You'd absolutely know her, yeah.
And then what's the name of the wand again? I'm so sorry.
The Wand of Borogon.
Lady Belvedere.
Gotta get you, Ollie D&D. Lots of
And,
names. None of them make sense. But they
Oregon,
make sense.
you
Yep.
said?
Lady Belvia or Belavia?
Belvedere.
Belvia.
Belvedere. Okay. I'd be like, oh, well, Lady Belvedere is perfectly approachable. We could just go ask her about the wand.
Lady Belvia, just not Belvia.
Lady Belvedere.
Eileen's available. I told you she was important.
Right. Okay, well done. She's a lady. But she's a lady. Maybe Indira, you could
You want me to?
Well, you know,
And-
we still need to stay here a little bit longer so that they can get used to our presence. You know, we got a lot of presents, so it takes longer. You know, it's
Sure, Vale. No problem. And then I would approach Lady Belvedere.
She will see you coming, and unlike the rest of them, kind of launch. She's like very reclined. She's a pretty, that sort of purplish red skinned merfolk, a little older than the rest, a little plumper than the rest, wearing just so much jewelry. Much of it is gold and gems, but a lot of it is also just pretty shells and things like that. And she smiles and kind of waves over at someone else who immediately pours from like a conch, a thick sort of orangish fruit juice in a glass that's like handed to you.
And I would hand her like a little bauble or trinket from one of my adventures as well. Maybe like a gem, like a not very expensive
Something
gem,
that's
not a
pretty
very
but not
valuable
necessarily
one, but-
sellable. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd be like, Lady Belvedere, hey.
Indira the Storm, you grace us with your presence and your friends.
They're great. You have to get used to them. I'm here. I wish I was here on pleasure alone, but unfortunately, business. I want to get right to the point. Don't want to waste your time. Want you to be able to get back to your party, but we're looking in specific for. And then she's gonna like look around, and then look back at her and be like, "The wand of Borogon."
I know of the castle of Borgon.
Okay. Would you mind if I were to visit?
It is under the water. Your friends would have to stay outside.
I can handle it.
It's not incredibly far from here. I could have my daughter-in-law lead you. And maybe... How important? What are you looking for? A wand? Why a wand?
See that one, the cute one?
She just, like, crinkles her face and, like, looks between them, like, over and over.
Dale definitely waves.
I just like raise my eyebrows and smile.
The awkward cute one.
She just got...
He like looks and like gets confused. He's like,
She just leans back and is like, yes.
We've come from his homeland, and it's really important to him and to me that we restore it. It's been damaged by a powerful magic and some ne'er-do-well creatures, and we'd really like to restore it for the people that not only once lived there, but that could possibly reclaim their land. And it's said that the Wand of Borogon may have properties that could help us to do this.
You are just so righteous, doing good for your friends and for islands and stray cats.
Do what I can.
It's like a cat stealing like a tiny crab or something. She smiles and kind of waves over someone who like comes over to her pool. Clearly younger, sort of pinkish skin, and is like, "You could take her to the castle of Borogon." She's like, "Yeah, could I mean, for Indira, absolutely. You could swim there, guide her ship. We've done it before." And Lady Belvedere nods and says, "And that castle is strange and old and has strange things in it. There's story that the water can be pulled away from the flooded castle, so maybe your land-dwelling friends might be able to help you search if you can drain the castle of water first.
Perhaps there are items around that could help them to get there as well. I have come across cloaks in the past that
cloaks.
help. Yeah, cloaks that help air breathers to breathe underwater. Maybe something like that exists in the city, and I could get a hold of it. But if I could drain the castle, that would be, well, much easier and less expensive.
There absolutely is. You know the people around here will sell any kind of magical knick-knack and doodad. We actually hold some magic that can let the land dwellers breathe beneath. We created... My late husband created quite a potent potion that could do that.
Was so sorry to hear of his passing, by the way. Great man.
Not as great as everyone says.
Important man, at the very least, right?
She'll nod at that. We sent it on a ship to a bunch of explorers quite like you and your friends. We heard that ship was wrecked, and wrecked above the sea, so we couldn't get on it. Rocks, that rough tides and so forth, in a place that we could not reclaim our potion. If you could find that ship, and the potion would more than be able to allow your friends to breathe under the sea.
Well, great. If there's anything else there, I could bring you back anything that was important to you. Could you mark on a map for me where you think it might be?
She'll click her fingers, and someone else, one of the Triton, will come up and you'll get out your sea map and mark it. It's kind of on the way. He'll also mark where the Castle Borgorn is. It's kind of on the way, a little off, but easy.
Sure. And if you don't mind writing a list of things that you'd like me to keep an eye out for to recover for you, it's the least I could do,
There's a painting there of me in my youth. I think that would be I'd quite like to have that back. Remember the good old days.
By all means.
Anything else you can keep, I don't care
personally
for
find you lovelier by the day.
That's why we like having you around, Indira. Well, is there anything else? Are your friends too scared to talk to me?
Yes.
Get the distinct feeling when she says land dwellers, she means it quite derogatorily.
Maybe.
I don't really feel welcome here.
Make yourself welcome, and I'll stand up, and I'll walk over,
Swagger over.
and I'll bow and be like, Lady Belvedere, hi.
Indira will suppress giggles. She's loving this.
And what might your name be?
Gilwyn Gallagher.
I didn't know they grew humans so tall.
Yes, well, you've learned something new today.
That little instrument on your side, can you play it?
Yeah, pretty
Quite-
well.
Quite like the music up here. It's different than how we play music below the waves.
Sounding quite nice in here, I must say.
Play me something.
Sure. And I'll listen
She
to
should say please, Gilwyn.
Indira would elbow Vale.
With her +5 strength.
I'll listen to the key that conch instrument is being played in, and I'll play along to that.
Give me a performance roll.
Performance roll. Shit. I'm gonna look that. I'm gonna look.
Hey! It's great when a check that's meant to be easy is a 1. It makes me very happy inside. You start off a little flimsy, but you get used to it and
breaks.
play something pretty. That she laughs and enjoys and lean backs and drinks what is definitely alcoholic fruit juice. And will clap when you're done. Slightly before you're done, You know, when there's like a break and clearly it's gonna. She just claps. So she's like, oh, I guess I'm done. You keep entertaining friends, Indira. You always have.
I really like these. I really like this lot. There's another. You wouldn't believe a tabaxi.
This lot? I'm sorry. Have there been previous lots to go through groups of friends?
They don't even know.
You know, because me
They don't need
and
to.
Gilvin were very transparent that we have had many friends in the past who may or may not
Well,
be
it's not
dead.
Vale, it's not important right now.
Well, I value my my lovely golden hide, actually. I just need to know if these previous groups of friends have maybe been sliced in half in some sort of murderous rage from an axe-wielding individual.
She would look up at you with her like flirting eyes because she's sitting with her feet in the pool with the lady Belvir. She would like look over her shoulder and up at you with like super flirty eyes and be like, "You never asked."
That's
like-
nuts.
I'd like to go in and flip my eyes.
She knows how to shut you up.
Well then, I suppose you're going to have quite an interesting voyage.
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. And if I see anything else that looks like it might belong to you, I promise to do my best to recover it for you.
Not if I recover it first, Egil.
Ignore
Shit,
him.
my head there.
She won't wave you out, but I imagine you have a little bit more casual conversation before you.
Actually, I think with that I would get up because I did say I don't want to waste her time, you know. So I would probably just like pick myself up out of the pool and
Ski dad.
yeah.
I'd
Get
like.
on out there.
Thank you very much for offering us this powerful potion. We'll do our best to get you that painting that you wanted. And I'll bow again and follow Indira.
It's after you leave, like minutes after you leave this building, Night just like comes out.
Yeah, Night just
Anyway.
basically appears next to you. It's like, my apologies, friends. It appears my reputation preceded me rather more than I thought it did.
It's okay. It's quite nice in there, actually, Knight. I think you'd like that.
Yes, it certainly sounded nice from the alley next to it.
They're a bit judgy in there, actually.
Well, I
Gil,
mean,
you did great in there.
Q.
I want to hear the details of this. The fact that Indira has not mentioned Vale certainly implies that he was not so comfortable. Please tell me.
He was okay in there. He was okay.
I just didn't talk to him. I am sorry. I am not attracted to that fish person. And I didn't feel welcome, and so I didn't try.
To
I
each
mean,
their own, Vale. It's fine.
I
This is
cannot-
good news.
I cannot
You're gonna
give...
breathe underwater.
Well, yes, that is good news. But I just want to clarify, you know, I cannot give 100% all of the time. You know, carrying Gilwyn around with me for this many months, I need a rest.
Just Vale, for future reference, maybe when we're talking to important people that can help us, that's a good time to give 100%.
She was a lady, not an important person. When you go to High Thunderl, every
Indira,
person you meet is a lord, a lady.
Indira kind of like tightens her grip on her axe, and she does not like what he's implying at all.
Night puts a hand on Vale's shoulder and it's just like, Vale, perhaps sometimes you might want to consider what you say before you say it. And he sort of does the eye thing towards Indira's axe.
Yes, I've heard that one before, actually. Several times.
Well, where would I me to interfere with your choices, my friend? Anyway, I assume that we have a destination then.
And she'll pull out the map and show it tonight.
Oh, excellent. Wait, so Ollie, what time of day is it now? Because I completely.
Ooh,
no
it
idea.
would be. You went right after going to the bar, so it'd be quite late.
Yeah.
While you're doing this, you're going through the mercantile district. There's a whole bunch of stores, there's shops. you're going past a bunch of stalls, and Gilwyn, while just glancing around, you actually see something that catches your eye, because you recognize the symbol on an amulet. In Bastilian, your mother's room was locked by a magic that looked like a flower on the door, and that same flower is on this amulet on a table full of other tat on this this person has.
I'll quickly walk over to it and touch and inspect items around it and just who is it with the stall?
It's just a woman. Doesn't appear to be. There's a lot of merchants around, but small time merchants,
Just having a clear out, love. And I'll look up and smile at her.
Well, these are all very powerful things from all over the world.
Powerful? This rubbish.
Oh, there's magic in them. I'll tell you that. I'm sure of that.
Cross my ass. Magic. Go on then. Show me some of this magic.
Oh, it's not to be shown. It can only awaken when worn by someone who has the correct resonance.
So if I were to pick up... I'll pick up the amulet and put it on. Is it magic? Eh?
Well, of course. It does it feel right on you?
It feels shit. But I like it.
Well, it will be 500. It will be 50 gold pieces.
50 gold! Yeah, Tom. And I'll look over at night.
Yes.
Tom, 50 gold for this.
What are you on about, Dean? There is no way that could be worth 50.
Dean?
I'd give her 30 at best, probably 25. And that's being generous.
25 for this.
You guys can give me a performance roll for this.
I'd like to be standing behind Gil, looking rather intimidating.
Standing behind Dean and Tom.
Dean and Tom.
Larry.
I can't come up with a better name.
I like
on
that
the fly.
the fake name is Dean.
Yeah. I mean, he called me Tom. I'm going to use a real name.
I know, it's funny. Tomcat. Fine. What was we wanted? 35 gold? I could
25.
I could part for 25 gold. It
I'll give you
suits you so well, and fashion is more important than anything.
I'll give you 30. I'll give you 30 gold.
And you have this little amulet. It's kind of like this symbol is painted onto stone, but similar to some of the stuff in Bastilian, it's burnt in with color, And it's a little smooth stone with a very simple, metal chain around it.
So it was a flower?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
30 gold for that.
Aye.
I think it suits you.
Bale shakes his head and just said, I should have left you a debt.
It's nice.
Those types are rarely willing to part without making at least some sort of profit. It was more reasonable than what she initially asked for.
Gold would be a profit for that.
Yeah, but don't you remember this flower from Bastilian?
Bale crosses his arms again. Looks at it. No, I don't.
I'll be like, this is a friendship test, Nate.
Knight grins.
Now, I do record it.
Oh, yeah.
But my memory is a little spotty because very shortly before seeing it, I happened to suffer a rather large concussive blast of force from someone's mother's dorm room door. Does it do anything?
Well, the guy over there said it would awaken when worn by the right resonance.
Well, if we saw it in your mother's room, surely this is the right resonance, no?
It hasn't awoken. Maybe
Perhaps it belongs on the aisle.
Maybe it's just coincidence. I don't know. It reminded me of that room.
Or, I mean, I do not... Perhaps it is a symbol of something. Perhaps a group that your mother belonged to, or similar. It might not actually have any power itself.
It's true. It just reminded me of where I wanted it.
I think its power is that whenever you are low on money, you can paint it on a mundane object and sell it to Gil.
Okay,
Now that sounds like an excellent one to try on people. Thank you, Vale.
well. In my defense, I just wanted I wanted a little bit of fun. I haven't done an accent in a while.
It's,
Hi, Pish Vale. There's no price too high on beauty. And Indira will kind of just like softly run a finger around the amulet.
When you do, and you kind of, Indira is not dexterous, she's a little clumsy. Kind of pull a little too hard on it. A barrier like forms around Gilwyn very suddenly, just,
Oh,
and then disappears again just as quickly.
well then.
God.
great. Another thing to keep you away from women. Just what you needed.
It's a friend zone amulet.
Amulet of Friend Zone.
Bad.
Legendary artifact. Requires attunement.
Bad children.
I would also like to look around the stalls to perhaps pick up some healing potions.
I'll
You
like.
can give me an investigation check for that.
Sure.
Oh yeah. I'll tell Knight and Vale to watch the person.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
You Eric'd it.
I did. I don't know what that means, but I did. Do you want me to just re-roll or are
Yeah,
we
you
going with the
re-roll.
three?
We always
Okay.
re-roll to get the right thing. It's consistency. With that, you manage to find one person who has a healing potion for sale, like a regular one. It's 50 gold.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll point to the vendor and be like, "Watch this," and I'll pull out a bit of fine copper wire and cast sending and send a message to that vendor. And be like,
You shouldn't have let the amulet go.
Do you mean message or
no,
full
it's
sending? Oh, full sending on
You
a,
can respond.
on a meme. You hear back a scream, and like they jump up, and like the table gets half knocked over, and like people are packing up their tables because it's getting quite late, and she just like runs, and then runs back and like scoops everything up into like the tablecloth, and then like runs like leaving stuff in the tray, which immediately like street orphans are like go and grab the stuff on the ground.
I land new spells. Including, by the way, Indira, water breathing.
Excellent. I was thinking maybe we should keep an eye out for a cloak because I've seen cloaks that can allow the wearer to breathe underwater, but if you can, I mean, surely one potion between the two of you. Maybe
I am sure we can
hopefully
make it
there's more than one.
Depends how effective it is.
They did tell me, Lady Belvier did tell me that I could drain the castle. So as long as we have one potion,
So,
we should be fine.
how long does this water breathing enchantment last?
I'm not quite sure. It should be almost a full day. I think.
That is surprisingly potent, Gil.
Yeah,
I can already breathe underwater, so
You can?
yeah.
I think I can manage a fair few amount of people anyway. But one less is certainly helpful. In there, I didn't want to make Lady Belvier seem useless to us, so I kept my mouth shut.
That was a good move.
I'm full of good moves,
I like your moves.
and I will walk away. Actually, I will grab Knight on the shoulder and be like, "Do you want to go have a drink?"
Absolutely. Perhaps we can find a game at the same time.
Do you want to go back to the same tavern you were at before? That was very close to where your ship is docked, which is useful.
Yes.
It means you can just stumble home when the night is over.
It's very important.
It's very important.
I would go back to the ship and go to sleep. I need to recover some hit points.
Vale, clearly, like, when it's the
Oh,
two of
you're
them,
full
like,
HP because
when-
it's been like, oh, you sailed back. It's been a while.
Oh, well then I would come. I would. Yeah, I
You
would.
can
go-
come.
I
when
would
those
go
two
go
walk
with
off,
them.
When those two walk off, Vale's like, so, maybe we should also get a drink?
By all means.
Oh, yes? Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Great. First round is on me then.
All right.
Thank you, Vale, for that
That's
offer.
what I like.
Hey! You go back to that tavern. It was busy there. It's a busy pirate sailor tavern with that big open floor where there's so many people playing all sorts of games. You've got the cards games, you've got cup games, dice games, little miniature games. And especially around now, it's that joyous kind of rowdy that sailors' taverns get in the evening when the drink is getting to people's heads. And there's people drunkenly trying to sing along with the Tabaxi bard, who is still playing. It's a good atmosphere. It's the kind of atmosphere you want in this sort of area. It's nice and chill.
So,
Food, drinks. It'd probably only be like 4 silver in a place like this to get food and drinks.
I'll get it all. All the food anyway.
I will get the drinks. Of course, I'm gonna slam down a gold on the table. Wine for this table, please, and keep it coming.
They will absolutely start pouring you like mugs of wine, because you ain't getting wine glasses in a place like this.
We want a flagon. Come on. just pour the flagon up. I'll take the mugs.
I'll like chug the whole.
I like the idea of them giving you, and they're like.
I'll chug the whole drink and like place it down and be like, for the first time in a long while, Vale, things seem to be looking up.
Things are going very, very well. Yes, that is true. But things have been going very well for quite a long time, really. You know, when you look at it from my point of view.
Go on.
I mean, have you seen the way I fight?
Uh,
I'm fantastic. I simply get better every fight. It's unbelievable, really. You know, I just when I first started, you know, when we first met, I was fantastic. But now I'm fantastic, fantastica.
I must say, it is certainly like watching a dance. A very violent dance, and a very effective dance. But it's quite a beautiful thing to watch in its own way.
Knight gets it. And you're a lot more effective as well now, come to think of it.
Oh, you should have seen the way he put the pistol straight into that thing's mouth that we were fighting, that wyvern creature. It was quite the display he gave.
I barely remember that fight.
Yes, you
like I wasn't even there.
The red mist really descended. We were beating on this storm herald, and I was like, Indira, he's dead. Stop! And you just carried on. It was a little bit, you know.
Yeah, watch out tomorrow, boys. Being hungover makes me a little cranky.
Right.
Oh, you intend to get drunk tonight?
Are
You intend not
you gonna
to?
keep drinking wine?
Well, I'm just thinking we've got a mission to do.
Oh, I can sail in any condition. Don't you worry.
May
I
I
just might not be so
also-
friendly. That's all.
May I also say that before we set off, a couple of small things that it might be a good idea to do, or rather I would like to request to do. I would like to take this rapier that I picked up and get it identified by a mage. Have some under the table types that I know who should be able to do it for a fee. You might also want to get that checked, Gil. Find out exactly what it does. It might prove useful.
Yeah.
It creates a shield around him.
Yes, but the precise nature would be useful. I mean, if we don't know whether it protects from, say, noxious fumes, then we don't know whether Gil will be able to move through noxious fumes when he activates it.
I don't think I like what you're implying about me right now.
I am sorry, I did not mean to point at you, Indira.
She laughs.
On one hand, I kind of just like it being Serious.
Yeah, of course, it is your own choice. But either way, I would like to get my rapier scene looked at. So,
Oh, aye.
and that in this
Cannot
case
lean
is
forward.
not a euphemism.
Knight absolutely would call it his rapier.
Exactly.
There's no doubt. Oh.
Indira, how good at you at dancing?
I like to think I'm fun at dancing. I'm fun at it. Would you like to?
Oh, well, I was going to say Vale was just bragging about how well he can dance.
Well, actually,
Nope, kick him.
I don't mean to brag, but I have actually been tutored in dancing by no less than a moon elf lady.
Perhaps you can give me a few lessons. And she will grab his hand and pull him out toward.
As she pulls him up, Knight is going to surreptitiously slip a card, press a card against him, giving bardic inspiration.
So
Everyone who needs it, I have a -1 to Dex.
Yeah, but he's the one trying to impress.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was absolutely going to describe it. I'm so glad you went here organically as well. That
What's
around
the
this time of
time?
night, it's got to be like midnight. There's like areas where people have pushed the chairs and tables aside to dance. Of course, there's sailors dancing. It's not at all what Vale has in mind. As people are singing and very rowdy. Can you both give me performance checks?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, come on. Give me that natty 20. It's not a natty 20.
You've got a D6.
You got a D6
I got a
inspiration.
D6. Thank God. Thanks for the inspiration, Gil.
Hey!
There we
15?
go.
A 15 is like, that's a good dance. You know what it is? It's one of those things where, again, Vale basically knows ballroom dancing. And this is not a ballroom. So, very quickly you actually catch on and kind of pay attention to people around you and, just sort of let yourselves feel the music. And it's not technically brilliant. It's maybe not the best thing to watch, but you two are having fun, and Gilwyn and Knight are having a great time watching, and other people around are dancing and having a great time. So, all in all, can't complain.
It's like John Travolta and Uma Thurman dancing.
Yeah! Exactly.
Hopefully the night won't end with a horrible OD.
So, Vale, why do you think they're trying to get rid of us?
Knight has an arm around Gil.
It's nice and warm and fluffy.
I don't
Cuddlebug.
really know. Maybe Gil wasn't taught how to dance, and he just wanted you to have a dance.
Okay. She would just keep dancing and laughing and twirling.
I'll send a message to Vale with sending. And I'll be like,
You are using this 3rd level spell so well.
You've seen the Sunday game.
Yeah, true.
It's not. Eventually, it'll get to the place where Gilwyn is sending to Barut, and they're just pen pals across campaigns with sending.
behave as if she's not. I've got a specific amount of words. Behave as if she's being
not
rude.
a woman.
What? Behave as if she's. I don't understand. What do I
What?
do? This is all internal. It's
You do whisper it, but
Oh,
the
does it?
music's loud.
Okay.
I doubt you'd notice.
When. What do I do? Where do I put my hats?
I'll like mouth. I can't reply. And then I'll like face palm and shake my head at night and cast sending again.
I'm actually as I noticed from having that conversation, I'm going to actually minor illusion like how Vale should be like
Like a little two dancers on the
Yeah.
table. Yeah.
I'm just telling you how to talk to her. You're being awkward. Talk as if she's being rude.
As if.
You're confident when you're offended.
Right. So, Indira, your pirate ship, were you the captain back in the day?
And I like to make like,
Not always. No, not all. This ship, yes, I've always been the captain, but I've been on many ships that I have not been the captain of.
I was also not the captain of mine. However, I did boast the greatest skill with navigator's tools. I can always find my way to the heart of any situation. He's clear. He doesn't make much eye contact until like he says that one-liner, and he makes like direct, full-on eye contact.
Oh, that's so endearing. I'm lucky to have you. You are a great navigator and a very swell dancer.
Well, I was not kidding. I was taught, in Bastilian, in a ball. There, apparently, they have balls very often. I could tell you about it if you wanted to get another drink, maybe?
Sure, I'm tired. We should sit down for a bit.
Yes. What would you like? I believe I should go and get it from the...
You got the last one. I'll get this one. And Indira would go and ask the bartender for a bottle of the finest wine.
2 gold.
Whew.
On it.
But and the best thing, because it's like sailors that like this has clearly been dredged up from some ship. Like the label is like faded and like water damaged and stuff.
Is it good?
Assumedly. Does Indira care about how like wine qualities?
I feel that as a pirate captain that spent a lot of time with merfolk, she would absolutely know good wine.
It's good wine. You're
All
not
right.
being duped. I
Okay,
mean, you've probably
so,
gone to this tavern before because it's actually alright.
1 sip then, and I'd place another gold down as a tip for the bartender, and ask for two steins or mugs
Drinking
or
implements.
What have they? Yeah. And I'd sit down at an empty 2-person table and indicate to Vale that he should drink.
You sit down and Vale's over at the table with the others, both hands, what do I say now?
Vale, perhaps you should go and sit with her to begin with?
Fuck. He saunters over, but catches his foot on the chair as he gets sit down and recovers and
Gil, do you? I must admit, I find myself rather entertained by this. Do you want to listen in a bit closer?
yes, absolutely.
I am going to
Magic.
I am going to 3rd level invisibility myself and Gil. And then we go back.
I also imagine you time it so that someone's going past the table,
Yes,
so Vales looks
exactly.
over and then you're just gone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Best day of my life.
So, Indira, do you know much about sun elves?
I know nothing about sun elves.
Would you like to know a little bit?
Tell
more?
me everything.
Well, I mean, there's quite a lot to cover everything, but we could go for a whistle-stop tour. Have you heard of Thundro, the High Elven city?
Have I heard of that?
No, that's other side of the world to you, essentially.
Okay, no.
Vale looks visibly taken aback.
I spend my life on the water.
Yes, but Thundro. And never mind. Thundro is the child city of High Thundral, which is a floating, almost island, but it is not large enough to be called an island. I forget the word in common, but and on it there is a most beautiful city that shines in the sunlight. And it is there that the Sun Elves originally descended from the sun, from Ormanator and Lathander, where we were created by the Sun Gods. And there we set about taming Jarviskjir. And it is to that great duty which we completed. We brought helped bringing an end to some of the previous ages and brought in the age of the elves. That is why we are so widespread nowadays. The human empires did not exist in the way that they did prior to us. However, now there are not so many of us left. Some say that our divine job has been completed and that our God has other tasks for us elsewhere. I say that we have been cast aside by that prick.
Indira will pour him a glass from the bottle and kind of give him a really empathetic look and be like, well, whatever it is, and she pushes it towards him. I thank my lucky stars to have found you.
Vale's cheeks go like a bronze color as he looks at the wine glass and then takes a sip. This is nice.
I asked for the best bottle they had.
Well, it is very nice. Some might even think it is Elvin. Yeah, I also... How old are you, by the way?
I don't remember how old I am.
Maybe Indira just doesn't know.
I'll kind of like tap Vale on the back of the head.
Gil taps from the other side, like a card appears on Vale's knee and just says, "Never ask a lady her age."
I'm not sure, honestly.
Right. Well, you that doesn't matter. I'm
Another
100.
one appears that says, "Ask about her."
I'm 100. It is my my first century. So well, what I mean to say is I wanted to know about your experiences. I have never seen a person so
Accomplished, says the card. I'm just messing with him now. I'm just putting anything up.
Especially bear in mind that like Knight is like sitting beside him on the floor, invisible. And at this point, Vale knows. You can tell.
obvious.
Like you'd scoot your leg to the side and like you'd like
There's fluff.
yeah.
Well, I've never seen anyone quite like me either, to be honest, and it's caused me more trouble than aid. A lot of people look at me and get really scared.
I cannot really see why.
I'm very different.
Difference is...
And you are a pirate. You know the superstitions, and I'm a woman. I look like this. They often fear that I would bring them bad luck on ships. It's
right.
I've walked my fair share of planks,
We don't have that so much on the west side. You see, between Bilgewick and Istana, that's sort of the female superstition where if you go around saying that in Bilgewick, they got you. And in Istana, they look at you like you are really stupid. And they, if you do something wrong in Istana, including being too stupid, they have these little clobber things. It's not very... I'm getting away from the point.
A card pops up that says something that says compliment her beauty. She isn't scary.
I was wondering if you would like to have a jewel.
Yeah, actually, that sounds really fun. Let's do it.
At this point, Gil, who I imagine is on like the other side of the chair, a card just appears in front of Gil and says, "What on earth is he talking about?"
The idea that an invisible knight is like there with a quill, which is of course like huge and fancy.
Yeah,
It's like-
exactly. it's the feather from his hat.
yeah, no,
Pulls it out and-
I'll like scurry around and just whisper tonight. This actually might be perfect.
You would like to maybe go to the ship in
Yeah.
in the moonlight?
Absolutely. And then I will grab the bottle of wine.
yeah.
Vale
Pound down
stands
the
up
rest of my
and
drink.
stamps on where he believes Knight's toes to be.
Oh. You hear
Can
like
I, can I make some sort of save?
deck
to prevent myself
save,
calling
deck save,
out?
absolutely. Yeah, you scoot away. All right, with that, we'll
I
take
am
a
actually.
break.
I don't know if there's going to be any more, but seeing Vale actually get some measure of success, I'll give him another bardic inspiration on his way past.
We will take a break, and then we will absolutely have more. There's always more fun here on Jarviskjir's
In
Mind as
Jarviskjir.
well. Be back in like a couple of minutes.